Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. My name is Angie Harper, and I live out here in Queen Creek, Arizona. Been here in Queen Creek for about 3 years. Grew up, born and raised in Northern California. And 3 years ago, my husband Garrett and I and our two sons, who were both in high school at the time, we up and moved to Queen Creek to kind of essentially start over. And I'll get to that more in a little bit, but I'm here today just to talk to you guys about my story. The theme of this call is teaching, and I was a former kindergarten and second grade teacher. I taught from 1999 to the year 2007. And these are actually my two sons in 2007. Ryan, my oldest, was 3 years old, and Nick, my youngest, was 1. And those of you out there that are teachers and moms know that sometimes it's kind of difficult, right? Because you feel like you're being torn in different directions. While I love teaching and I loved my students, I loved my own kids more. And so once I became a mom, my priorities started to change. And it was at that time I was waking my boys up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting them out of their beds, putting them in the car, commuting to my teaching job, dropping them off at my mother-in-law's house where she watched them, picking them up after school, commuting back home, doing the whole dinner, bath time, bedtime routine, and then waking it up and doing it all over again the next day. And so I just knew in my heart of hearts that I wasn't going to be doing that for the next 30 years. I knew there was something else out there for me. And that's when I like to say I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug. One day I was watching TLC with my boys, and they had an old renovated school bus come up. There was a show called John and Kate Plus 8, and they had a school bus come up, and all the kids ran out, and the school bus was a gym for kids. And so the light bulb went off in my head, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do that in my town. And I did. I took a leave of absence from my teaching job. I walked away from a stable, albeit, small, because I was a job share teacher. So a stable but small paycheck and a retirement, you guys. Like, what was I even thinking, right? Walking away from that in 2007, mind you, right before everything crashed, I decided to start a business. Looking back now, I kind of think, wow, that was really crazy of you. But it was an exciting time. I learned so much running that business, and I ran it successfully for 9 years. Started it from the ground up, knew nothing about entrepreneurship or running a business, but I did it. I made it happen. However, it was running that business where I developed some pretty significant health issues. And I was actually on Facebook one day watching a Facebook Live from a good friend of mine, and she was talking about this product she was calling the little yellow pill. This is it right here. She was talking about how it could reduce inflammation. Now, at that point, I didn't really even know what inflammation was. She was talking about an ABC primetime video where they talked about oxidative stress and lowering oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So that's when I kind of went down a rabbit hole and started doing a little bit of research. And I learned that oxidative stress is the direct cause of over 200 diseases. Many of them, I'm sure a lot of you might be dealing with or know people who are dealing with them. So, I learned throughout the course of talking with her about it that this is a combination of turmeric, green tea, milk thistle, ashwagandha, and bacopa. Now, could I have gone to GNC and bought all 5 of those herbs separately? Yes, I could have, but it's the combination of those herbs together that create what's called a synergy and make it 300 times more powerful than taking them on their own. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I had tried literally everything to alleviate my pain. I had spent thousands of dollars. Some things I tried worked, for a few weeks, and then the pain would come back. So I was desperate, and I said, give it to me, I'm going to try it. Didn't ask her to see any of the studies. I now know today there are 31 peer-reviewed studies, third-party peer-reviewed studies on this product that you can find on pubmed.gov. And it wasn't overnight. I was taking this, I would say, for about 3 months when I like to say, I was driving that bus, and it was like the sun was shining down on me, and I just felt incredible. My pain was gone. I was sleeping good. I had energy. I wanted to get up in the morning and be there for my kids. My boys were both, in travel baseball. And so I had to have energy. I had to be a present mom. And I thank God every day that I listened to my friend, even though I did ignore her post for about a year. But one day I decided I've tried everything, and so I'm going to try this, and it worked for me. And so it was at that point that I knew I had to share it with others, and that's what I did. I decided to sell my business and to jump into this network marketing opportunity, having zero experience in network marketing, not even really knowing what it was or what I was getting myself into, but I knew that I was good at building relationships. I knew that I was good at talking to people and teaching people. Teaching is still in my heart. I have an organization now of over 10,000 people, and my favorite part of my job is teaching new consultants to do what I do. So I still teach, and I love that. Now I'm going to fast forward. I'm not talking about every product we have today, don't worry, but I'm talking about my 3 favorite products and those that have had the most significant impact on my health and on my life, really. But if you want to know about all the products, please get with whoever is sharing this with you, and they will get you ingredients, they will get you pricing, they will get you frequently asked questions, they will show you studies. But for me, it's about the stories. And I'm going to be joined by 2 incredible teachers here in just a minute who are going to share their stories with you as well. But in the year 2022, LifeVantage released this liquid collagen. Now, if you're like me, I was already for 2 years. I was mixing the blue lidded powder collagen into my coffee because somebody told me collagen was good for me. So I did it. Never noticed one difference. It wasn't until I started drinking this. Yes, of course, I noticed in my hair, skin, and nails first. I have nails that have never grown in my life. They split, they peel, they break. I finally, for the first time in my life, have hard, healthy nails. My hair, I just chopped 3 inches off of it a few weeks ago, and in a couple months, that's going to be back. Like, it grows like crazy. And in my skin, I like to call this drinkable skincare. There is nothing on the market. Trust me, I've tried. There is nothing on the market that can compare to this. It has 10 types of collagen in it. It teaches your body to activate and create its own collagen, which is just unprecedented. It's the only one on the market. But the most important part for me, I had developed a shoulder injury from years of lifting kids onto the zip line on the tumble time bus. I had an MRI. They suggested surgery. I wasn't ready to go that route. And it was about 6 months into drinking that collagen when my shoulder pain was gone. And I looked at my husband and I said, you know what? My husband is a strength and conditioning coach, former professional power lifter, lifts weights every single day. And I wasn't lifting weights because it hurt. I didn't want to hurt. So I stopped lifting weights. So it wasn't until my shoulder pain went away that I said, you know what? I'm going to start lifting weights again. And that was 3 years ago, you guys. And that was kind of the catalyst of my weight loss journey. I have since lost 25 pounds. My goal was by the time I was 50, I was going to be 25 pounds lighter. I turned 50 in December and I reached my goal. And that brings me to my third and my final favorite product I'm going to talk about tonight is our GLP-1 activator. This is called MindBody. It's a 2-part system. Now, being a perimenopausal woman, we all know that, the weight loss is hard as we age, especially the visceral weight loss around your tummy. And I was doing everything. I was eating 100 grams of protein a day. I was lifting weights. I was walking every day. I was doing all the things I knew I should be doing, and the scale still was not moving. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but it's freaking frustrating. And so when this launched, I really was like, I'll give it a try. I'll see. I started researching what GLP-1 hormone is and how it stops working as we age. And guys, I don't know what to say, but I started this 2-part system and that fired up my GLP-1 hormone and the scale started moving. My stomach started, going flat, not as flat as before children, but my stomach is flat again. And I just feel incredible. The sleep is incredible. The energy is incredible. And all that to say that this 2-part system completely just catapulted my business. In 2 weeks, my organization doubled. So my organization does in sales right now, we're at the time $150,000 in sales every month. And when this launched, it doubled to 300,000. So that told me there is a huge market out there for weight loss. I'm sure every single one of you either have tried or know somebody that has tried the injectable weight loss. Millions of people are on them. And, many of them know that they can't stay on them for life. So this is a great option to transition them to. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the business side of things at the end, but I want to stop talking right now and I want to bring on two special guests. The first one is my dear friend, Sandy. Sandy was a middle school and high school teacher for over 26 years. Before she got bit by the entrepreneurship bug. And she's going to share her story and how she's become a top leader and just a wealth of knowledge for all of us. And her story is exciting. She's a mom, she's a grandma, she gets to travel to be with her grandchildren. And Sandy, just hop on and share with everybody what this opportunity has meant for you in your life.
Well, thank you, Angie. It's an honor to be here tonight speaking to all of you, and I truly appreciate that introduction. I am having the best time of my life being a Grammy. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had, and I love that I have choices now to do that. As Angie said, I was a teacher and coach for 26 years, and I say was a teacher and coach, I'm still a teacher and coach. Okay, it's just a whole different classroom on a global level now that I do that. But I love teaching and coaching, and it's been my passion forever. I was good at it. I was an overachiever, which meant I was also overworked. If any of you have ever worked in a school district, that was me. I worked at a small school, and if they needed something done and something done well, they asked me, and I had a hard time saying no. But I loved it. And it did get over time, it did get a little bit old being that person that they always went to. We want it done right. We're going to ask Sandy. And so I did start to get tired of that because my kids were older now. I have 3 daughters, grown now, but I was also their coach in high school. And that's the best part about teaching, I felt, as I was in that small school and I got to see them grow up. But there was also that drawback of I got paid the same amount of money that everybody else did who worked the same amount of years that I did. There was no opportunity to increase my income unless I took on every extracurricular thing. And I did that. I was student council sponsor. I was volleyball coach. I was track. I did everything very successfully, I might add, but I was working myself to death. So when I got home, my kids got the rest of me instead of the best of me. And I just, but I didn't, when I joined network marketing, which was in 2012, it was totally because I stumbled upon it. My niece was selling something on Facebook and I said, okay, I'm going to order. I said, what is this you're selling? And I ordered it, but I had no intention of using it. I just wanted to support her. The only thing I knew about direct sales and network marketing was the Avon lady in that little town who drove a blue Maverick with a white roof when I got there. And guess what? She was still driving that blue Maverick and a white roof when I left 26 years later. Sweet, darling woman, but I never saw an opportunity that was impressed upon me. I had no idea what the possibilities were. I wasn't looking, but I did love the product. Went ahead and tried it. I thought I might as well try it. I paid for it. I was going to try to lose some weight because I was having a little struggle in my marriage. And I thought maybe this will make my husband love me more. I had really good results on a weight loss product. It wasn't LifeVantage at the time, but I knew how to coach and I knew how to teach. And so I had people asking me, what are you doing? How can I get that? Well, isn't that what people ask you when they notice something different about you? What are you doing? How do I get that? I got really good at answering that question, but I was letting people use my discount because I had no idea and didn't take the time to understand how I could earn income until that fall. My husband did go ahead and leave me for greener pastures. And that meant I had a lot of debt. I still have my 3 girls that I'm trying to raise, and I needed some extra income. So here's what I did. I told people, I had let people use my discount. That's how much I didn't know about it, you guys. And I said, well, maybe you can get your own discount, because I knew if I could do that with the people who were using my discount, I could make $200 and that would help me pay for my groceries. Well, guess what? I made a little over $200 in that first month. And so that opened my eyes to, if I could do that, maybe I could make another $200 if I could talk to a couple more people. And then that could help me pay for my car payment. And that's all I was doing, you guys, was surviving. But I was passionate about those products. I knew they made a difference. And guess what? Lo and behold, as I was working full time, I was able to do this in the nooks and crannies of my life. I was still talking to people. Isn't it funny that, you know, we always talk about the things that we love? I was still talking about it. I might as well get paid for it, right? And that's what I didn't realize. LifeVantage is going to pay someone to share about these products. And it's not going to be a big box company. It's going to be someone just like you, just like me. I had no idea. I thought I was too busy, but in a year and a half's time, I went to the top level of that company, and that afforded me the opportunity to make a choice to walk away from teaching. I was 50 years old. My life had took a turn. My youngest daughter had just graduated from high school, and I thought, this is my chance to do something different. It's the first time in my life, you guys, that really I had choices, that I wasn't dictated by, well, this is what I have to do, this is what I get to do. And so I left that little town of the, you know, comfort and moved to a different place. And you know what? Then lo and behold, great things were happening. I'm making an income that I didn't even realize people could make. I was paying off, you know, a lot of debt and things. And then I got hit with a really major health crisis. And I think that came from a lot of stress. It was just too much on me. Fortunately, when I got diagnosed, that was the only battle I had to fight, because I had taken very good care of myself. And so I got through that. But then I still didn't feel well after chemotherapy. There was just something nagging at me. And for 3 years, it was really rough. So 3 years later, I got an explant, because I had implants put in after I had a bilateral mastectomy. And that made me feel a lot better. I had breast implant illness, and I overcame that. This again was before I was even introduced to LifeVantage. And then things took a turn in the company that I was with, and things changed a little bit. And they went a different direction. And I thought, that was a nice run. I'll never do that again. But I had a friend reach out to me after that happened 7 times, you guys. It took him 7 times for me to even have a conversation with him. But the 7th time, I was really going to say bad words to him, because he just kept bothering me and I didn't want to be bothered. And I finally asked, what is the product you even have? And when he told me, I said, my gosh, why didn't you tell me about this after all these health issues I've been going through? And he goes, well, would you have listened to me? And I said, probably not, to be quite honest with you. But I had another checkup coming in July. So I started on product in June. It made a huge impact on me. And in July, when I went to that colonoscopy, which I thought I was going to get very bad news, the doctor came in and he said, I had to check your chart to make sure it was you. I can't believe. What is it you're doing? And I said, I don't know. It's in a blue bottle. I had no idea. Here I was, but I knew then, and all of the results that came in, that I was obligated to share what I knew, because it was that impactful on my life. Okay, I get a little emotional talking about that, because I was told I was going to have a colonoscopy every year for the rest of my life. And I don't have to have them except for every 5 years. That's music to my ears. And so I thought, this is something I have to do. I know that I'm obligated. I'm not sure I want to build a team, but I will tell you that I couldn't help it. This is something that I wanted to do, that I'm passionate about. And I'm kind of on that, I'm a customer gatherer kind of person. You know, Angie touched on some of the products that she loves. There's some of the same products that I love, but I also love the Gut Health Essentials stack, getting my gut on point with a probiotic and prebiotic. There's not one product that I don't love. I use them all. I use the hair care products, the skin care products. I'm 60 years old and I'm fit, and I just can't even believe that this is my life. And so again, not to share that would be crazy, but people know me. A lot of people like me, and a lot of people trust me. And that happens in the field of education. People know you, they like you, and they trust you, and they're going to buy you before they buy a product. So my advice would be to get these products in your body. I've been exposed to a lot of products over the years. I've seen a lot of things, but there is nothing like activation. There is nothing like it. And these, as Angie said, I had the exact same experience when the Mind Body GLP-1 came out, that my business doubled as well. And so it's there, you guys. We have what it takes. This is it, as we've all talked about. And I want everyone to have what I had. I did not know that I could have the choices I have, that I am able to manage my time and live life on my terms now. When my grandkids need somebody, I can drop everything and go watch them. As I said, I teach all around the world, anywhere in the world. And I was just in Africa with Angie on a trip that she and I earned. And I will tell you, when I was a teacher, I was lucky to get a turkey at Thanksgiving. To get a trip to Africa, expenses paid. Are you kidding me? I've traveled the world because of this. The only traveling I used to do was on a school bus to another school. My life has changed dramatically in a way I never knew, and I know that can be for you. So you really need to get with the person who brought you here to have a conversation about, this is something I need to do.
Sandy, Sandy, Sandy. So I tell you guys, she's so authentic and so heart-led. Thank you so much for sharing that story and your journey. And you're right. I mean, I think back to teaching, and gosh, I never won any trips. And, I didn't even know what leveraged income was. I just knew that I would, it didn't matter how early I got to school, how late I stayed at school, didn't matter if I went on the weekends. I still made the same amount of money. So it wasn't until I really learned what this opportunity could mean, what kind of tax incentives, as a W-2 employee you could use as a business owner. That's mind-blowing to me that so many W-2 employees don't really understand tax incentives. So again, I'm not an accountant, but get with whoever's sharing this with you and they'll explain more. We're going to close, guys. I know everybody has that special teacher in their life, that teacher that has really made an impact on them. And he wasn't my teacher. We're the same age, but he was my oldest son's teacher. And, to impact a teenage boy in middle school, that says a lot. And my son is now serving in the United States Navy. He's training to be a Navy diver. And this guy has had a huge impact on my son Ryan's life. And I knew that I wanted to share this opportunity with him years ago, but I didn't. I was scared. It wasn't until last year that we were doing a meeting in Brentwood, California. And I said, you know what, I'm going to invite him. And I called him up and I said, Clay, you got to come to this meeting. And he came. He had no experience with the products, but he came to listen. And at the end of the meeting, he came up to me and said, Angie, I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't do this. And it just hit me. And I said, you're so right. Like, there's no downside to it. What's the downside? Improving your health, right? And he decided after trying the products and having great results that he too wanted to share this. So Clay McNamara, be out there, go ahead and unmute yourself and share your
Yeah.
story.
All right. Thanks. Well, Sandy's a tough act to follow, but I'll do my best here. So thank you, everybody. Yeah. So, like Angie said, actually, Angie, you asked me a while before that, and it wasn't like the timing. Wasn't quite ready, but man, after COVID hit, I was just, I think a lot of people not in a good space, and I gained weight, and I was not feeling great, and then with all all the inflation and so forth, I knew I needed some extra income. And I was like, okay, I have a background in PE and fitness. And so I was like, okay, what could I do? So one thing I do know about is, fitness and getting in shape. And I knew that. So I wanted to start my own kind of, side business or whatever, and try to help people get in shape, lose weight. So, and then it was just like the perfect timing. Angie reached out to me. I went in and I went to the event, and I was just blown away by, the people. And I knew some of these people in town telling, just sharing their stories. And like she said, I was like, okay, I definitely got to try this. I was dealing with my own issues. I had a lot of joint pain, probably just from working out. I had like, sciatica pain, neuropathy pain, just a lot of joint pain going on. And I'm like, okay, I want to try this. And literally just a few weeks in, I felt the joint pain went away. After about a month and a half, my sciatica, my neuropathy, I don't know if you guys know, it was like nerve pain in my toes, which was keeping me up at night. All these things were just like inflammation based things. But, I was a big believer, after that, I was like, okay, this stuff is the real deal. And so it's never really felt like selling to me. Like some people I talked to, like, well, I'm not good at selling. I'm like, well, I don't think of myself as a salesperson either. I just share it. I'm sharing because I believe in the product, because I know it works, and I know what it's done for me, and I know what it's done for people in my family and other friends and other consultants that have, that I know. And it's absolutely real. So it never feels like selling to me. And so those of you might be like, well, I've tried something before and I'm not really good at selling. I'm telling you right now, if you take the product, you will have belief, and it will not feel like selling if you were just sharing your story and sharing, the results. So anyway, I decided to incorporate LifeVantage into what I was already doing. Um, and so, got my wife on it, and she loves the Protandim, and she really loves the collagen, especially for her hair and her skin. She's got back from a esthetician or whatever, and they said like her skin looks great, and her hairdresser says her hair looks great, and all that stuff, like Angie said. Another thing just I wanted to add was, allergy season's coming up, and man, I've never gone a season without really having some allergies. My wife's are actually much worse, but last year after I got on it, nothing. And she gets it much worse. She no allergies. She spent a few days at our future in-laws house, who they have cats, and she came back and she was like, I didn't have any allergies, but she didn't make the connection at first. And I was like, it's probably because of the little pill. And she okay, and then now she understands, like it was the Protandim that really helped her with that. So if you're an allergy sufferer, or someone who's an allergy sufferer, I would highly recommend this. But anyway, one thing that I love about LifeVantage, and again, I've only been doing this about a year, so but the amount of support that I got from people, and some people here, like I see Trisha here, and someone like Senya, Senya and Angie. I mean, it's just amazing. And then the other people, the other consultants that I've met in town, they really, everybody wants to see you, do well. And it hasn't felt like work at all. I like Sandy said, I find time within the day to kind of, touch on the business a little bit, and just kind of sharing this, doing a little social media, which I never really did that before. This company's really kind of helped me, and the people in it kind of really helped me sort of get out of my comfort zone and just not be afraid to share it, because it's real and it's authentic. And I found out that that's really what moves people, is just sharing your story. And it never really felt like work, or at first, of course, it was uncomfortable for me because I'm not really a social media person. I don't share a lot on social media, but and it's not that you have to. There's other ways, to share your story. But that's been really, really helpful. And I went to the convention last year, and oh my goodness, just seeing and meeting so many people who share the same values, about health and wellness, is just mind blowing. And it was a life changing experience for me. I think just to be around those people, and to see, who really, how the company goes and the people that make it go. And I just can't say enough good things about the company and the people, because that's, I was never, like I was always a little skeptical, like I don't know about network marketing, but then once I met the people, and then I realized that, man, this company um, is like nothing I've ever experienced. They really do nurture the consultants, and you never feel like you're alone. So if you're thinking about it or nervous about, just like, I don't know how to do this, I would say, I didn't either. And the help that I've gotten has just made it easy. I'm still working at it, I'm still trying to get better every day, but I've never felt like I've been alone. And so, I just want other people to kind of share the experience I have taking the product and being part of such a good company. That I would say, if you're on the fence, I would say you won't regret it. I mean, I don't know how the saying goes, but the only regrets are the ones that, the chances you don't take. And I know that's not it, but anyway, I'm just so glad that I said yes to Angie, that I just kind of stepped out, tried it, and haven't looked back. And I just, going to keep looking forward, and I know she's going to keep getting better. And I'm just really grateful that, that you asked me to be here tonight, Angie. So
Well, thanks,
thank you.
Clay. And you're right, it is going to keep getting better. And You know, LifeVantage it's a unique company. It's a publicly traded company, which is huge for network marketing. They've been around for over 16 years, so they're not a startup company. Like I said prior, we have products with studies available on PubMed, with research done by places like Harvard, you know, Texas Tech, the National Institute of Aging. And so all that to say, you know, we're kind of tired. We're tired of hearing that LifeVantage is the best kept secret. We don't want to be a secret anymore. We want more people. We want everybody out there to know what we have and to link arms with us, because we can't do this alone. We need more people to go out there and share what we have our hands on. So if you're watching this live tonight, or if you're watching the replay, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to get back with whoever has shared this information with you and just ask them questions, right? Ask them, you know, questions about products, ask them more questions about the incredible opportunity. And we want to be the first to welcome you to LifeVantage. Thanks so much for your time, and have a wonderful evening.